Hello, you degenerate old schoolers, and welcome back to another episode of The Orb. Today I'm playing Oliver again, Xpoints 36 monthly. It's hosted online on Teleria. If you can, check it out, build a deck, come play with us. Oliver made it to the finals last month, red-white control, he was on the Orb, and I asked him how it went. He said he got beat down by goblins. And I said, that's funny. I just got beat down by goblins last episode. So we had a laugh about that. We're both on new decks this month. Let's hop over and see what Oliver's playing. And here is Oliver's deck. I want to talk about one card right off the bat. And it's this card right here. It's the Priest of Yawgmoth. I mean, look at this dude. I've only seen him played a handful of times. If you look at his artwork, he looks like a guy that, wherever he lives at, the village, the city, he's walking around convincing people that he does awesome things. And everyone in the village is just like, yeah, I bet you do. Leave me alone. Go bother someone else. And he's like, but I'm the High Priest of Yawgmoth. And I think they're like, I heard you were just a cleric. And he was like, well, back in my day, there weren't a whole lot of priests, so I'm really special. I can do things. And then I think he goes back, and then, Suchi comes out to play, and Suchi swings in. And then this thing taps, and Suchi dies, and next thing you know, you have 8 floating mana. 4 from the Priest of Yawgmoth, 4 from Suchi, and you can tap one of those little mountains and deal 8 damage with a Disintegrate. So, Priest of Yawgmoth can do some awesome things. I mean, he can come up with 6 for a trike that's no longer needed, or a trike that is going to get disenchanted anyways. So he can do some pretty cool things. I'm excited to see him play. But the one thing that he can't do is what this guy can do, Atog. I mean, he's shifty looking from the get-go. So, him strutting around town, he's like, I don't even have to tap to do my thing. I pay 0 and eat artifacts all day long. And, the priest, I don't want to say is a one-trick pony. He can power out some other things, but he can't do the great things that Atog can do. So let's take a look at the rest of this deck. He's got, of course, the 4 Atogs we just talked about, 4 Darrowlore, because other than that, the Darrowlores, he has only 2 Priest of Yawgmoth to cast. Darrowlore is a super efficient creature. He's playing with 4 Suchis. We just talked about that ability that they can make with the Priest to produce black mana for the casting cost of the artifact that was sacrificed. 4 Trikes. And then for ramp, right next to that, he has 8 more artifacts. So he's staring at 16 artifacts, possibly 17 if he turns his factory into an artifact that he can turn around, donate to the Atog or the Priest. But yeah, mana ramp, 2 Moxen, a Soul Ring. He has 4 mana vaults in there. So, again, his magic goal is to get to 4 or 6 mana. Pump these things out. He has lightning bolts to deal with. I'm sure small creatures on the other side. And 2 Armageddons. Extra points, he just wants to slam one of these big bodies down. In that case, he can remove all the lands and say, good luck, your go. So, I like it. He also has Sarah Angels in the sideboard. Let's take a quick look at my deck. Here's my deck. I called it Tarzan and Jane, just for the simple fact that Urnham is swinging through the forest. He is Tarzan, and there's no doubt that those Sarah Angels couldn't pass for Jane. I mean, that's how you win with this deck. I I tried to make it, a toolkit deck with one fireball, the regrowth to grab whatever I need, whether it be a Wrath of God, a Swords and Plowshare, a Disenchant, a Chaos Orb, whatever I want back. The control magic to make a 2-for-1 happen on my side. If I can get a hold of one of their creatures. Brain Geyser, that can be an X-for-1 spectacular. Sinbads are there to draw extra land. And make sure you have 2 up for your counter spells. I like this deck. I think it's going to do really well. But so far, it just got murdered by goblins. Couldn't find any answers. So let's take a look at the second round of this monthly. And here we are with game number 1. I rolled a 6. Oliver won the roll, so he picked evens. He leads with a Plains and then a Soul Ring. That's a good start. We just got blinded by the light. That was the light of Oliver. So, I get my Tundra out, pass back to Oliver, and look at this, turn 2. He plays a swamp, so he's got a swamp and a plains, taps his Soul Ring and Su-Chi. I have a quick answer in the form of a Swords to Plowshare while he's tapped out. Play my second Tundra, but look how, wow. Second turn, 4/4 body and Xpoints. That's tough to deal with unless you have that Swords or, well, in case of Su-Chi, a Disenchant. Oliver's ramping more, he drops down a Mana Vault. I mean, look at this, turn 3. He can come up with 7 mana on his turn 3. That's with the tap swamp. That's wild. He plays a factory, so he doesn't have another threat. That's tough. But he can produce a ton of mana, and he does have a threat on the board in the form of a factory. All I have is 3 Tundras down. He comes in for 2, and look at this. He pays 6, taps 6 for a Triskelion. I do have an immediate counterspell for him. He comes up with an answer, I come up with an answer. Thank goodness. That's the second 4/4 that would be in play. He's got some big bodies. I throw down a Sylvan and pass to him, though. He sticks me for another 2 with the factory. I get to take a dig through the library. Looks like I peel off a land. Play out of Plains. Tap 5. Is it going to be the Sarah Angel? Yes, it is. Jane has entered the field of play. And she's such a bitch to deal with. I mean, he's got the Disintegrate, and if he has one, wow, it's going to hurt a bit. I guess he is lacking red mana source, though. That is tough, though, that third color. Okay, he's got Darelore, so this is a third 4/4 body to hit the play. I just have my 1. 24 to 16 right now. He's got, extra resources, extra life. Good news for Sarah is she can attack and block, which makes her pretty well the best, or possibly the most efficient creature in Old School. Possibly. I don't want to have people with pitchforks coming after me. Okay, look at this. Another Swords to Plowshare. donate 4 more life to my opponent. Best 4 life I can give. So I've answered 3 4/4 bodies, and mine's staying in play. That is not great news. He's still on 20, though. He does need his 3rd color. I mean, I guess at this point I don't even know that he has a 3rd color. Good thing we looked at the decks before we started. There it is, Plateau. Okay. He sent in his factory? Oh, he's got a lightning bolt. Guess I don't take the bait, and he plays out an ATOG. Counterspell. Wow. Those counters have been crucial. 2 swords, 2 counterspells. Thank goodness I had the right mana. Sometimes running 3 colors. Well, same thing that just happened to him. You don't always hit the right mana pockets, and you can sit there and stare at that shit in your hand and not be able to use it. So Sarah's up there swinging her sword. Oliver's ducking, but still getting beat in the head with her broadsword coming across. He is down to 12. I have a Chaos Orb for extra backup. This is not looking good for Oliver. He can produce so much mana, though. He can, I mean, I think he could fireball me for like 12 right now, which is terrifying. Oh. So I just went to 12. Another Darelor. Wow. This is his 5th body and another counterspell. This is brutal. I feel disgusted with myself at this point. I mean, I'm rooting for myself and everything, but... Ugh. 3 counterspells, 2 swords, a Chaos Orb. The Sylvan helps, though. The Sylvan helps so much. I realize, you know, once the Sylvan's around a couple turns, unless you're shuffling or doing something different, it's not all that powerful. But, I mean, at this point, oh, look at that. I pull a regrowth, pull back up a counterspell, so as if me countering 3 times in a game's not enough. I'm going to have a 4th, still showing that Chaos Orb. Oliver's in some deep shit right now. He's down to 4. I drop a Sinbad just to look cool. No, I mean, I do want to keep the game going. And me drawing extra cards isn't going to hurt, especially if he can answer my Sarah. Oh, yeah, he strip mines. Sorry, strip mines and takes out my Tundra. Guess that means I can still counter. He passes to me. Dig deeper with the Sylvan. Double lightning bolt. Okay, I can stop one, and that is gonna be it. So Tarzan and Jane, you just saw Jane in that edition. She was backed up by, well, 3 counterspells, a regrowth for the 4th big badass ugly counterspell, a couple swords to plowshares. So very powerful key cards saved her ass, my ass, and got me game number 1. So let's swap out a few cards and go take a look at game number 2. And here we are with game number 2. Oliver's on the play. I was going to say you can do mega ramp things, but here we go. Priest of Yawgmoth. And I'm sure I'm like, oh yeah. What's that? What's he doing again? Is that him saying I'm awesome in the card? He is. I want to see him do great things. I hope we get to see him do something big and spectacular. I'm rooting for the Priest of Yawgmoth. So I drop a Tundra. That's no fun. Priest of Yawgmoth in for 1. I mean, he's almost paid for himself. I drop a Factory and a Felwar Stone. So I do a little ramp myself. Priest of Yawgmoth bashes in again. I'm down to 18. I mean, I really don't want to activate a Factory for a Priest of Yawgmoth. That's the whole point. Hate to see a lightning bolt come out of the sky and murder my Factory. But I'm ramping more. So I do want to always have 4 or 5 up. Ideally 6 or 7 so I can counterspell if I have it. Priest of Yawgmoth in again for another one. So I really have on the board everything I need. I drop down a Desert, which, against Oliver's deck's not really going to do a whole lot. Here we go. Tap for Urnum Jin. And an immediate Swords to Plowshare. He's swinging through the vines. God says no. And no one sees him again. I think that priest sent that. Oliver's tapping 4. Another big body for him. Darylor. He didn't get to stick very long last game. I think we saw 2 of them. I'm tapping 4. Another Urnum. Okay. Darylor has a problem with Urnum. Urnum's just slightly bigger. And really my deck, all I was trying to do is take what I thought were the 2 most efficient creatures that were, just 1 mana off from each other. Be able to ramp a little bit into them and play them out. And if mine are better, just my creatures beat theirs. The problem is if their deck's better, they beat mine. So Darylor is turning sideways. I'm tapped out. Yep. I'll go ahead and block. And disintegrate for 1. Okay. That's okay though. Trade 2 for 1. He loses his Darylor. Another Urnum is removed from the game. I mean, how bad do you have to be to completely leave everything out there? So Sinbad taps, I'm digging for land, and instead I mill off a point in the form of Wrath of God. Really all I would have taken out is the priest. I would have taken out my own Sinbad. So Sinbad thought he was cool and then sent a point to the bin. But I do have Sarah Angel, so as we saw last game, Sarah Angel is kind of a big deal. And Oliver agrees. He's like, she's awesome. I'll have my own Sarah Angel. Oh no. There's my Swords to Plowshare. So Oliver's back up to 24. His Sarah's gone from the game. I just mill off my own Sinbad. That's not too bad. I don't want to draw Sinbad right now. I don't need to. So Sinbad is efficiently thinning my deck for me. Sarah's in for 4. Oliver's down to 20. Always tapping a lot of things. Here we go. Disintegrate. So Sarah Angel is another victim of being removed from the game. Sinbad's doing some work for me here. Turn Sinbad sideways, I get a bonus card. It's a City of Brass, but so far down my list, I don't even want to use it. So that's one of the cards in my hand, but that's okay. That's one less card. I'm not going to draw a city next turn, right? Hopefully it'll be something better. I stick in for 2 with a factory. So this has been a evenly matched game. Really, the only thing I'm up on him is just a factory. And look at this. Armageddon. Son of a bitch. My deck likes to have land. I mean, I know every deck does, but those 4 and 5 casting cost, it's like, land's good. Okay. Oh, yes. Divine Offering. I'm taking away his only mana source. So, Oliver's like, your factory's dumb. Let's take everything out. I offer to say, yes, but lose your 2 points off the board with your Moxen. So he does have a Badlands. He turns on my Fellwar Stones for me with that Badlands. I play out a Tundra. And I'm still up a City of Brass, too. Remember? Sinbad pulled the City of Brass. So I'm actually in pretty good shape. There's a city. Tap 2 for a Sylvan. Okay, now I just need another threat. Oliver has me on this 18-turn clock. Ooh, Disenchant of the Sylvan. I would have liked to take a dig through the library. You know, there's a couple extra cards. And really at this point, because I'm on this clock, I'd rather just draw extra cards. Find more threats. He's far behind on mana. And there's another point hitting the board. And look at this. Priest Yawgmoth is so badass. I say, I want to take him for a ride. So I get him tapped. I only have 1 in hand. He plays a Mana Vault, so he's back to being able to ramp. Wow, we're going quick. I shove my factory forward, and Priest is doing some work. Look at this, Swords and Plowshare. Factory's gone. I'm back to 18. Priest Yawgmoth has done like 38 damage this friggin' game. Oh, and the Priest is so good. We are fighting over control. He can't deal damage because he goes back tapped. I get a factory. I'm sure Oliver's cussed himself for taking the Priest back now that I throw down another factory with the Disenchant. But, oh, look at this. Another factory. Damn it. Oh! That's why he didn't care. Another Disenchant. Wow. But he's out of cards. Okay, he draws another 2 points in the form of his Mox Jet. But that doesn't help a whole lot. What it does do, though, is if he pops a Trike, it can hit play next turn. Uh-oh. Man, that puts him behind, though. I got a Sarah on the board first. He didn't find the Trike. He found a Plains. Another Fellwar Stone. I'm coming in for 6. This is not looking good. Oliver's down to 11. Drawing. Tapping 2 for a Chaos Orb. Okay, that's a real card, right? Activating. Son of a bitch. We better slow this thing down to take a flip. And here it is. This is going to be a big flip. So we made it nice and slow. Take a look at his form. And it's a good hit. So Sarah is disabled. And by disabled, I mean dead. He neutralized her. I do still have a factory in play. Factory swings in, but I mean, he does draw him or add a few extra turns for him. But it's not looking great. He is down to 9. He finds another mana source. Priest Yawgmoth is still out there waving his fingers, dealing damage a turn. Oh, I really wanted to see that Priest eat something. another land. That's tough. So he's down on 7. I'm on 14. Not looking great. Coming in for another 2. He's down to 5. He's got a 3-turn clock. No! Fireball. I do it for a few extra just in case, or 1 extra just in case. Cards that come or earn them. Counterspell, more lands, and a regrowth. Wow. Oliver, as always, pleasure. I really love seeing those Priest Yawgmoths out and about. Hope we get to see him again. And as always, like, subscribe, share. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching.